This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
And welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. And as always, I'm your host, Jesse Tapia. And the trade deadline has passed in the NBA. And boy, did the Cavs make it ever so exciting. All right, yesterday I was talking about how I'm not really sure what they could do or who to move or what would they do in order to pretty much get rid of the headaches on their team. And they found a way. I don't know, some kind of sorcery that either LeBron pulled or Kobe Altman, the GM, pulled. But either way, I like what the Cavs did. All right, it doesn't. You know what? I'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to be talking about the trade deadline in the first segment. Let me tell you how the show's going to go, all right? We're going to talk about the trade deadline in the first segment. Next up, in the second segment, we'll be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo getting his long-term contract and what that means for all the other quarterbacks around that are going to be looking for big-time deals soon. All right, third segment, we'll go over the NBA games from last night, recap those. Obviously, there's going to be some players who played on certain teams that are going to be gone from there, so we'll still give up their stats and stuff like that. We'll talk about each game, talk about LeBron's buzzer beater against the, the Timberwolves. We'll talk about that, and then for the fourth segment, as we always do, we'll talk about anything else going on in the world of sports, and I'll make my picks for tonight's NBA games. I wonder, how did I do last night? Let's see. I picked the Pistons, I picked the Rockets, I didn't pick the Cavs, I already lost that one. All right, I think I did pretty well. Actually, I did. I only got one wrong yesterday too. The Indiana Pacers and New Orleans Pelicans did not play in their game because there was a leak in the roof. So, yeah, that's how that went. But let's talk trade deadline. So the Cavs really got rid of 6 players, brought in 4 new ones. All right, they got rid of Derrick Rose, Iman Shumpert, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder, Channing Frye, and Isaiah Thomas. Safe to say, I think we could say that the Boston Celtics won that trade between the Cavs and Celtics. Celtics getting Kyrie, the Cavs getting IT, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the Brooklyn pick. Obviously, the Cavs still have the Brooklyn pick, but pretty much anything else besides Zizic, who doesn't even play, is gone now. So yeah, Danny Ainge won that one again. No trades for the Celtics in this one. Today, they didn't reach a deal for Tyreek Evans. I saw that the Grizzlies wanted a first-round pick for him, and Danny Ainge was hesitant to give that up. I'm not really sure, why Danny Ainge just refuses to give up first-round picks. All right, obviously he did for Kyrie last year or this past offseason, but that was worth it. And I mean, giving up your pick or whatever for actually, do the Celtics have the Grizzlies pick this year? I think they do. That's something new right there. But nonetheless, I mean, the Celtics just refuse to give up first-round picks for players. And I think it's just more that they have a little plan that they stick by, right? Because the Celtics have never really, the last few years, haven't been a team that trade for a guy who's only got half a season left on his contract. They've never really traded for a rental. And I understand if they're going to stick to that plan, they're going to stick to that plan. So, I mean, I guess it's a smart move there. They did sign Greg Monroe officially, so he might be playing tonight against the Wizards on TNT, which is Thursday night. And then they are going to be looking for people who are getting bought out. Possibly a guy like Joe Johnson. I saw his name. Maybe a guy like Marco Bellinelli. Who knows? Maybe Isaiah Thomas. He went to the Lakers. Maybe he gets bought out. Maybe Danny Ainge is like, hey, come lead the second unit with us and you can come play with us. I doubt that happens. But nonetheless, let's get into what the Cavs did today. So they traded Derrick Rose, traded Dwayne Wade back to Miami. Good for him. They traded Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and their first-round pick this year to the Lakers for Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson. And Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder were part of that 3-team trade that brought in Rodney Hood and George Hill. So, well, yeah, and the Cavs also got a Heat second-round pick. Not sure what year it is yet. But nonetheless, so yeah, the new players in are Clarkson, Nance, Hood, Hill, and then they got that second-round pick. So obviously, with us knowing this, we've come to find out that the whole Isaiah Thomas Cavaliers experiment just didn't work out at all. All right. And I kind of feel bad for the guy, but I kind of understand like how it works out, and it just didn't work out for them. But nonetheless, I mean, the guy, Isaiah Thomas' biggest problem was that he didn't just fall in line. All right. He tried acting how he did in Boston, tried becoming a leader and calling people out and pretty much holding everyone accountable, including himself, because he did. But you don't really do that when LeBron is on your team. All right. And Isaiah Thomas has this little confidence about him that is good sometimes, but I think hurt him in the long run with the Cavs. And I mean, obviously we could see that this whole Cavs relationship thing wasn't working, even with Jay Crowder. I mean, Jay Crowder really was a shell of himself this year. Really didn't look anything like he did in Boston. But nonetheless, I mean, Isaiah Thomas, he's now with the Lakers, and I'm not sure what's going to happen there. All right, Isaiah Thomas's agent came out and said that he's not going to be playing off the bench. He wants to be a starter, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. You got Lonzo Ball there, and if I'm the Lakers, I'm not benching Lonzo Ball for Isaiah Thomas as much as I like the guy. All right, Lonzo Ball is the future point guard of that team. When he gets back from his MCL injury, he should be the guy who's playing the point guard position as a starter. All right, you can't just really go away from that and start a guy who's only got half a season left on his deal. So that's where I think the Lakers should buy out Isaiah Thomas. All right, and who knows, they might even buy out Channing Frye. But nonetheless, you buy out Isaiah Thomas. I'm not sure what's a good fit for Isaiah Thomas anywhere. All right, maybe a team like the Pelicans who need a point guard. Rajon Rondo really got moved to the bench. I think they plan on starting DeAndre Liggins. Throw a guy like Isaiah Thomas in there, and maybe his hip ends up healing and he starts playing well. And I think one of the biggest reasons why he just wasn't fitting in there, wasn't like playing well with Cleveland, is just because, like I said, he just didn't fit in there. All right, just his style of play and the way they were just didn't work. But if you go to a team like the Pelicans for Isaiah, then you can run the pick and roll like he did with Horford in Boston with Davis, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he struggled too, because I know the Cavs really don't have too many big men, or actually any big men at all. I can run the pick and roll on that team and pretty much work out that way. So I mean, him in New Orleans, I think would work out well. Again, it's all just him getting back to his leg strength and pretty much making shots, because I know he wasn't doing that at all with Cleveland. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. Derrick Rose, he's going to get bought out from Utah, and it's looking like Tom Thibodeau wants to reunite with his former point guard. It's looking like the Timberwolves are going to be suitors for Derrick Rose. And honestly, I think it's going to be the only team that wants Derrick Rose, all right? Derrick Rose wants to go to a playoff team, and Derrick Rose's value around the league is not really too high anymore, all right? People just do not like the guy whatsoever as a basketball player. And I've been seeing, too, that Tyus Jones for the Timberwolves has been playing well, but Jeff Teague gets more minutes over him, and fans haven't really liked that. So just imagine when Derrick Rose gets there, he's not going to be behind Tyus Jones. I'll tell you that much. And if Tyus Jones is already losing minutes to Jeff Teague, then Tyus Jones isn't really going to be playing too much. So I'm not sure. I think the Timberwolves are kind of shooting themselves in the foot if they bring in Derrick Rose. So we'll see how that all ends up. And who knows, maybe Derrick Rose... I'm just doing wishful thinking here. Maybe he could be something with the Timberwolves, do a little bit better than what he did with anyone else since he's left Chicago. Let's see, Dwayne Wade, like I said, nice for him to go back to Miami. Jay Crowder, he's still got a couple more years on his deal, and I'm not sure if he's going to get bought out by Utah or anything like that. Maybe he's just going to be a nice fit there, or he's just going to have to play out his contract there. But I mean, that's a guy that just really fell off. I think Shumpert, he ended up in Sacramento. I'm almost positive he ended up in Sacramento. I think he ended up in Sacramento. And like I said, Channing Frye's in LA, so I'm not sure if they're going to buy him out either. If the Lakers buy out Channing Frye, he could very well end up on a playoff contender too. So let's talk about the guys that came into Cleveland: Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, Rodney Hood, George Hill. I think that the Cavs improved their team bringing in these four guys. All right, they got pretty much the guys who caused problems in the locker room out. I mean, Dwayne Wade wasn't one, but I think they just got younger. They're like, if you want to go to Miami, you can go to Miami. And that's how it ended up. But obviously, I think they got, like I said, they got better. But I think they got like regular season better. I don't think this team gets to the finals any more than the team before had a chance to. All right? Because let's put it this way. The starting lineup for the Cavs, their point guard is probably going to end up being George Hill as a starter. Maybe Jordan Clarkson. Then you either go Rodney Hood or J.R. Smith at the 2. I think they'll go with J.R. Smith. Then you got LeBron, Kevin Love when he comes back, and Tristan Thompson. That isn't a lineup that really scares me for a playoff team. All right, at all. Then your second unit, you'll have Rodney Hood, either, like I said, Clarkson or George Hill, Korver, and who else do they have on that team? I mean, they guarded a lot of people from that team. Maybe they pick up some guys who are going to get bought out and add that way. But, I mean, the Cavs just, I think that, like, their chances of making it to the finals didn't improve at all. All right? I think the Cavs, what they tried doing here was getting younger and pretty much getting the guys who were causing problems out. And I think they did well to do that. So, I mean, it works out for them well there. But I still don't see like this being a move that helps bring back LeBron or anything like that. All right. I mean, it's just, and who knows? Maybe like, because like, look at it this way. Jordan Clarkson, he's been a nice player on the Lakers, but he's not one of their best players or anything like that. Larry Nance, he's nice little, he's athletic, not much of a scorer or anything like that. Can get a couple of rebounds. Rodney Hood is a nice off the bench type of guy. All right. And George Hill, I mean, George Hill was okay in Sacramento. All right. Played pretty well in Utah, but that was what? This is George Hill's first year, actually, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, last year with Utah, I mean, he did play pretty well. So maybe it was just him not playing well with the Kings. It's just the fact that, I'm playing for the Kings and it's impossible to play well there. All right. That places like the Cleveland Browns in the NBA. But nonetheless, I mean, I just don't really see it working out. Like, this doesn't help their chances to get past Boston or Toronto. All right. If anything, I think it hurts them. All right, because you still have no big man on this team. All right, they tried getting DeAndre Jordan, didn't work out. So now what? All right, any player that gets bought out and is a center or a big man, I mean, they're not really going to be big time game changing players or anything like that. That's where guys like Joe Johnson, Marco Bellinelli, those guys come out. All right, those are the ones that you need to pretty much solidify and finish up the finishing touches for your teams. All right, and maybe you guys like Al Jefferson get bowed out or something like that, but even them being on the Cavs, I mean, it just doesn't work out. I mean, they did sign Kendrick Perkins, but we all know that's not going to affect anything going on. I mean, if anything, he's just a locker room guy to have out there. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for the Cavs here. And like I said, I mean, going against a team like Toronto, I mean, you got Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan going up against guys like George Hill and J.R. Smith or Jordan Clarkson or Rodney Hood. I mean, do you think any of those guys could stop that duo right there? Plus, Toronto's got a really deep bench that's been playing well all year. And as for Boston, I mean, Boston has 5 different big men they can rotate around. You got Horford, Baines, Morris, Monroe, and Daniel Tice. Daniel Tice, nobody really knows too much about him, but he's a nice little rim protector in that team and plays great defense, all right? Plus, I mean, who's going to guard Kyrie Irving? All right, Rodney Hood, I'm not sure how much he'll do against a guy like Jaylen Brown. Obviously, LeBron can handle Jason Tatum, and Kevin Love will play well, but I mean, they just don't match up well enough, I think, to get past Boston. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up for them. All right, but let's see. I think Emmanuel Mudiay, he got traded to the Knicks too, so I'm not sure if he's going to end up being the starting point guard for that team, or you go with a guy like Frank Nikita, the guy that drafted top 10. Let's see, Elfrid Payton got traded to the Suns, and I think maybe he could be the starter there, have Devin Booker play the 2 again. I know they've been going with Tyler Ulis lately, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. But other than that, I mean, there were like Tyreek Evans didn't get traded. DeAndre Jordan, like I said, didn't get traded. Lou Williams ended up signing an extension, so he's staying put in LA. I mean, if not for the Cavs, this would have been a really boring trade deadline. It's really the Cavs who really did the most and pretty much did it all. So it'll be interesting to see how it all ends up. Like I said, we got to wait a couple more days to see what goes on with the buyouts and who gets bought out. I'm really interested to see what happens with Isaiah Thomas, because if he gets bought out, I'm not really sure where he's a good fit anywhere else. So we'll see how it all ends up. But that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and all the other quarterbacks that are going to benefit from him getting his monster contract. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. That first segment, we pretty much spent most of it talking about Isaiah Thomas, the Cavs, the players they brought in, talked a bit about the Celtics to start, and I do like what the Cavs did, all right? They managed to turn a bad situation into a better one as far as locker room culture, all right? I think they did get better, not by much, but it did get a little bit better. I mean, getting rid of guys like Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and who else? Channing Frye and Iman Shumpert. I mean, that can only help. Now you bring in a guy like Larry Nance, bring in Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, and George Hill. I mean, those aren't, let's be real here, okay? Let's be real for a second. Those players there are not players that are going to even get you close to beating the Warriors, okay? Let's say that that's what the Cavs' plan was to just build a team to beat the Warriors. That does not do it. That does not move the needle at all. All right, and I'm not even sure, like I said, if it gets you past Toronto or Boston. All right. I think that I'd have to check like the contracts. I'm not sure if Rodney Hood is on an expiring one. I think George Hill, he has one more year left on his deal, but I think it's a team option. Let's see. Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson, both young guys. I'm not sure what their contracts are looking like right now, but I mean, it's going to be tough for Cleveland to make it out the East. Let's just say that. All right. Yes, I understand they have LeBron. Yes, I understand that with time this team could get better. That's the biggest thing right there too. All right. They got rid of 6 players from their team and brought in 4 new ones. All right. Plus the dudes that they're going to try and sign from who get bought out. All right. Let's say they sign about 1 or 2 players. That's 6 new players, 5 or 6 new players bringing on your team. That's the middle of the season. All right. This team before they had no chemistry, and you got to try and build some new one with these new players against and figure out what pretty much how things work for other players and what makes them play well. So you got to figure that all out mid-season. So it's going to be tough for the Cavs. I'm not going to lie, but nonetheless, I mean, I do like what they did at the deadline. I mean, it was pretty crazy. I didn't think they'd be able to do it, get rid of all these dudes, and be able to bring in the guys that they wanted, but nonetheless, they did it. So good for them. Now let's talk football. Let's talk San Francisco 49ers. Let's talk Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's talk 5 years, $137.5 million. All right. That's his new contract. 90 of it is guaranteed. So in total, I guess, in counting incentives, all that, he'll be making around $27.5 million if he completely gets all those incentives. I'm fine with the deal. Okay. They knew, Garoppolo knew that he was going to have to become one of the highest paid players in the NFL. All right, that was no secret. You can't get on the 49ers for paying the guy this much because what, you don't pay him this much? Okay, I'll just go head over somewhere else. Or even if you franchise him, you're still going to be paying him like what, $34 million I think it is, or 28. So either way, franchise him, then you're still paying him what you're paying him now, even possibly a little bit more. So I like the deal what the 49ers did here. I like it. All right, and for the people who are like, oh, they gave him way too much money, he's not worth all that. Okay, well, put it this way. 49ers don't pay him all that money. Let's say they were crazy enough to like, oh, we just don't want to pay you all that money. We're not going to franchise you either. Then he walks, and he's going to get the same contract or a little bit better from some other team. I'll tell you that much. All right? The NFL, they pay you for what you're going to do, not for what you've done. Okay? Jimmy Garoppolo, what it's looked like he's going to do is win a lot of football games. All right? Jimmy Garoppolo has started 8 games in his career. You want to know how many he's won? 8. All right? 49ers started off, 0-10. Garoppolo comes in. You know what they finished? 6-10. The dude looked out of this world. All right, played extremely well. All right, pretty much looked like I don't want to say younger Tom Brady. I don't want to put that on him. But nonetheless, he looked like a good quarterback. Let's just say that. All right. And it's not like he was working with big weapons or anything like that. They got guys like George Kittle, Trent Taylor, rookies. And you have Marquise Goodwin, who benefited greatly from Garoppolo being out there. Plus, you're going to be getting Pierre Garçon back next year. I still think that the 49ers need to bring in or draft a receiver, whether it be in the first round or second round, or maybe even find someone to sign. I'm not sure really what free agent receivers that are going to be out there. I think Allen Robinson's going to be an unrestricted free agent, but it's looking like Jacksonville might franchise him or at least try to give him a long-term deal. Let me see if I could find the free agent wide receivers for this year as I'm talking, but nonetheless, I really like the deal, and I think they did good here. All right, and San Francisco is going to be a team who they're going to be competing for the division next year, I think. All right, this isn't like you sign Jimmy Garoppolo and now you got to pretty much build up the team before you can start winning. Like I said, this team won 6 games. Yeah, they won 6 games with him out there. All right, instantly took him from garbage to possible playoff team for this upcoming season. I'm looking at the free agent list right now. You got guys like Jarvis Landry, who could possibly become a free agent if Miami is dumb enough not to re-sign him. Mike Wallace, I don't see really him being a fit in San Francisco. Maybe a guy like Marquise Lee. He's gonna be an unrestricted free agent. That'd be a nice little option there. I think Marquise Lee, because he did play well this season with Bortles out there even. So, all right. Allen Robinson went down. Everyone was expecting Allen Hurts to take over, but no. Marquise Lee showed up and played well. Let's see, who else? There's not really too many big-name receivers out there that would be solid fits for the 49ers. Like I said, Jarvis Landry would be one of the top ones. Then you got Marquise Lee. I'm talking about, like, number ones, too. Let's see. Yeah, there's really no true number ones. Maybe possibly a guy like Bryce Butler. The dude does have talent, but just never really was able to put it together with Dallas, but that could just be due to the fact that you got to get the ball to Demaryius Thomas. Or not Demaryius Thomas, Dez Bryant. Sorry, I was thinking all over the place. But nonetheless, either you go or in the draft, maybe you trade back a bit from they're going to have either the 9th or 10th pick. Maybe you take a cornerback. I've seen that maybe they'll take a guy like Denzel Ward or maybe a guy like Josh Jackson, or even you trade back into like the 14th spot or something around there. You just take a guy like Calvin Ridley possibly, but I'm not sure. But either way, I think even if they don't end up taking a number one receiver in the draft and just spend like the middle rounds looking for a receiver, I still think that they're going to be fine, because Garoppolo, I think, is going to be one of those quarterbacks that makes everyone around him better and pretty much makes the team play better as a whole. Because like I said, as far as the defense goes, they're going to get better too with Garoppolo being out there, because they're not going to be on the defense constantly. That defense is really young. You got a young defensive line who shows that they have talent and can get to the quarterback. Linebackers have played well, and I think they do. That's where you got to fix it with the secondary, but that's where you use the 9th pick on a cornerback, like I'm saying. But nonetheless, I like the deal. I think they did well here, all right? And I know it's only been 8 games for him, and I know we do need to pump the brakes as far as calling the Niners a possible playoff team and all that. But nonetheless, if you watch the guy, like last year, if you were watching him, it shouldn't have been like to see how many touchdowns he throws, how many yards he throws for, all right? Because that's all that's a plus. But I think you should be watching more for how he moves in the pocket, all right, how he throws, if he's accurate, if the team around gets better as a whole. And, all those 3 things right there checked off. Like I said, I was watching him a couple of times. I liked his pocket presence, liked how he moved around, didn't really get too flustered or anything like that. Was very accurate, has a strong arm. And like I said, you had guys like Marquise Goodwin getting better. You had Trent Taylor and George Kittle, the rookies, playing better with him out there. So, 49ers are set up pretty nicely, all right? So we'll see how it all ends up for them. But now, Jimmy Garoppolo's got his big boy deal. There's other quarterbacks that need deals, all right? Let's see. Kirk Cousins, what's he going to get now? All right, Kirk Cousins is going to get more than what Garoppolo got. I'm going to tell you that much right now. He's going to get either the same or more, okay? And I'm not sure who he's going to get from. I think it's going to be Denver, New York, or Cleveland, all right? But there is going to be, all he's got to do is say to these teams, all right, ever since I've been in the league, my stats have been top 10, whether it be passing yards and completion percentage and touchdowns, I think. Doesn't really throw too many interceptions or anything like that. All right, the guy who got paid a bunch of money in San Francisco has only played 8 games so far in his career. All right, I haven't had much to work with, and I still made it work there in Washington. Okay, so I want this much. Either you pay me or there's going to be another team that does. It's a matter of outbidding for Kirk Cousins, all right? And I think that Cleveland should be the team who goes for Kirk Cousins and signs him. If I'm Cleveland, I'm giving him whatever he wants, all right? Because if Cleveland signs Kirk Cousins, that's a 7-win team before the draft even starts, all right? And I'm sticking to that, all right? You got Josh Gordon, you got Corey Coleman, David Njoku's looking like he's going to be a solid tight end in the league this upcoming season. All right, showed some flashes last season as to what he could do. All he needs to do is develop. All right, I say with the first pick, you either trade it down or you take Saquon Barkley. All right, if you sign Kirk Cousins, then I don't think you keep both the number 1 and the number 4 pick. But there's also a possibility like that you could, and I think they already got 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. And I understand like having a lot of picks is all great and all, but I don't think that they really need to trade the 1st or 4th pick if they sign Kirk Cousins, just because of the fact that you have a bunch of other picks still left in the first 3 rounds. Okay, the only way I trade the 1st pick is if someone offers me 2 first-rounders, all right, and a bunch of 2nd and 3rd rounders. All right, I need a Godfather offer for those picks. But nonetheless, like I said, it's going to be Denver, it's going to be Cleveland, or it's going to be New York that overpays for Kirk Cousins. And I say overpay because Kirk Cousins isn't worth what he's going to get. All right. He's only going to get what he's going to get because that's how the market is. Okay. There's a shortage on solid QBs in the league. Okay. You got guys who've only played 8, like just putting it into simplistic terms. All right. You got guys who've only played 8 games, started 8 games in the league, getting $27.5 million a year. So obviously Kirk Cousins is going to command more than that. Then there's guys like Drew Brees, whose name I came up as far as quarterbacks who can benefit from this. And I'm not sure really how this affects Drew Brees. All right. Drew Brees, if you were paying attention to what pretty much what's been coming out about the Saints, they're not trying to lock him up to a long-term deal. They're not giving Drew Brees 4 years, I don't think. All right. I think the Saints are trying to take a 2-year deals at a time, 1 to 2 year deals. All right. And if I'm the Saints, I mean, let's say you give him 2 years. Are you going to give him near $30 million for 2 years, a 2-year, $60 million contract? All right. If I'm the Saints, I'm telling Drew Brees, look, I'm glad you've done all this for us. Glad you brought us to the Super Bowl, but we'll give you 2 years at $20 million each. 2 years, $40 million total. All right. I'm not giving Drew Brees $30 million a year anymore, no matter what. Okay. I understand he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he's not top 5 anymore. All right. Off the top of my head, it's Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, Ben Roethlisberger, Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. I'd take those 5 quarterbacks over Brees right now. All right, and if you're paying attention to Brees, the guy took a step back a bit with his play. Okay? He's not the same quarterback he used to be. All right? He played well this season too because he didn't have to do it all on his own. All right? You got guys like Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara doing a lot of the work. Plus, you got a solid number 1 receiver in Michael Thomas, and your defense ain't giving up too many points. I'm not trying to take away from Drew Brees. I'm just saying the guy's getting older and his play's not getting any better. All right? As for Aaron Rodgers, I mean, once he's up for his new extension, dude's going to become the highest paid quarterback of all time. That's no doubt. Aaron Rodgers is a guy who deserves at least $30 million a year. All right. He's 34, but in reality has only started 9 seasons. All right. Because I think, what was it? He sat on his first 5 seasons, I think it was. So, I mean, the guy's going to be getting a lot of money, and he deserves it. And then there's guys like Matt Ryan, right? I don't know with Matt Ryan. He's kind of weird to me. Yeah, he could be a really great quarterback. This year he took a big step back. I'm not sure if that was just because Steve Sarkisian was the bad offensive coordinator, but nonetheless he did take a step back. But Matt Ryan's going to get paid too. Matt Ryan is going to get more than Jimmy Garoppolo and Kirk Cousins, that's for sure. All right? So I mean, you got guys who are going to start making $30 million a year easily. All right? Let me see who makes the highest salary in the NFL. I think it's yearly. I think it's Garoppolo at $27.5. Then I think it's Stafford after that. Then you got Brees on that list. And who else? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But nonetheless, I mean, you got a lot of quarterbacks who are making around that range. And it's going to get topped, all right? The market is always going to get higher and higher as far as quarterbacks getting paid. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys get. But like I said, I mean, Rodgers is going to become the highest paid quarterback eventually because he's got, 2 more years on his deal. He's going to be a free agent in 2019. And I'm sure that the Packers aren't going to be dumb enough to let him slip away. I mean, I'm sure they're not dumb enough either to fire the quarterback's coach. Oh, wait, they are. They did that. So, I don't know. Nonetheless, dude, I do not see Drew Brees getting anywhere near $30 million a year. I saw Adam Schefter talking about how this benefits him and stuff like that. I would not pay that guy that much money. But as far as going back to the 49ers, I like the deal. This makes them a solid team in the NFC West next year. Now you just got to start putting up the pieces around him and hope that he is able to replicate what he's done so far in the NFL, and I think he's going to be able to do it. The guy's played extremely well since he's been out there, all right? So we'll see how it all ends up for them. But that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be recapping the NBA games from last night, talking a bit about each, and pretty much doing what we always do. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. In the last segment, we talked about Jimmy Garoppolo getting his deal. I like the deal for the 49ers. I mean, you were going to have to pay the guy a bunch of money. Better you do it than anyone else does. And like I said, if they were to franchise him, they'd still be paying him probably more than what he's actually getting with his contract. So it works out for both. Nonetheless, though, 49ers probably going to be a playoff team, or at least a team fighting for the playoffs with him. I understand he's only played 8 games, but in those 8 games, he showed that he could get it done. So we'll see what he does with a full season finally. All right. As far as the other quarterbacks that could be affected by this, Kirk Cousins is going to get paid. All right, by far. Well, not by far, but he's going to get more than what Garoppolo got. And then you got guys like Aaron Rodgers. Once Aaron Rodgers gets his extension, whether it be, if he does get an extension. I don't know. Should Aaron Rodgers just say, you know what, I'm cool, Green Bay. I'm going to finish on my contract and go somewhere else or look into free agency? I don't know. But either way, Aaron Rodgers will be the highest paid quarterback of all time within the next 2 years. Probably within this year, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Also, we talked about the trade deadline in the first segment, talked about the Cavs getting those 4 players. They got Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, Rodney Hood, and George Hill. All right, I like those moves. Don't think it really bolsters their chances of making it to the finals or even winning the finals. Like, do Cavs fans still think that they can beat the Warriors? Like, is that something that goes through their mind? Like, oh yeah, we can do it this year. We can win it. Okay, because I hope not, because you're not going to. All right, I'm not even sure you get out the East. I'm not even sure if you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if we're being real here. All right, this team, like, you're telling me Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, Rodney Hood, and George Hill are going to save your season? Come on now. All right, so yeah, we talked about that. Talked about Isaiah Thomas going to the Lakers. I think he's going to get bought out because the dude does not want to be coming off the bench to Lonzo Ball. I know that for a fact. You had his agent come out and say it, so we'll see how it all ends up. But nonetheless, let's talk basketball games from last night. Some players got moved, some players didn't. So let's see who played their final game with their team. Let's see, we got the Brooklyn Nets. They faced off with the Detroit Pistons in Detroit, and would you look at that, Detroit's still winning ball games. All right, Detroit won this one 115-106. Damari Carroll, he had 14 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 4 of 14 from the field, 3 of 10 from the three-point line. Spencer Dinwiddie, 12 points, 11 assists, shot 3 of 9, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. Alan Crabb, he had 34 points, 2 rebounds, shot 13 of 22, 6 of 14 from the three-point line. Let's see, Blake Griffin had 25 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 9 of 19, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Reggie Bullock, 9 points, 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Stanley Johnson, he did not get moved. That's a player I thought could possibly get moved at the deadline, but he didn't. I'm glad that Detroit did not move him. I think he's going to be a nice little solid player going on for the rest of the season. He's been looking good since Blake Griffin got there, so let's wait and see on him. All right, let's see. You got 19 points from him, 2 rebounds, 9 of 15 shooting, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Andre Drummond, first bad game with, oh my gosh, Andre Drummond almost had 30 rebounds. But he had 17 points, shot 5 of 17, but had 27 rebounds. I did not see that at all. That is ridiculous. 27 rebounds. The guy, why was no one talking about this yesterday? All right. You want to know why? It's because LeBron hit a buzzer beater. It's ridiculous. The guy had 27 rebounds, and I'm just barely finding out about it. All right. I didn't. Wow. Anyways, Ish Smith, he had 15 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. And that's, yeah, like I said, the Pistons won that one, but 27 rebounds and no one talked about it. No one. Unless I just completely missed it. All right? That is ridiculous. And I probably think, oh, why are you so excited about rebounds? All right, as far as like centers go, I really like centers who could rebound the ball and play defense. All right? When a center puts up 27 rebounds, that's incredible. Give Andre Drummond the MVP now. All right, as for the next game, though, we had the Houston Rockets facing off with the Miami Heat, and Houston won that one 109-101. You had Chris Paul with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 10 of 19 shooting, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. Clint Capella with 13 points, 8 rebounds, 6 of 8 from the field. Clint Capella has been probably one of the most consistent players all season long, if you've been paying attention. Right, the dude does not have a bad game. It feels like he's always close or near to a double-double. And he's not like taking a bunch of shots or missing a bunch of layups or anything like that. Dude is very efficient. And then you had good old James Harden with 41 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 13 of 25 shooting, 5 of 12 from the three-point line. If this dude keeps this up and plays like this consistently and does not win the MVP, that will be the biggest disservice in the history of disservices. All right, the dude deserves the MVP. I always like to say, if Russell Westbrook averaged about 2 or 3 less assists, then James Harden would have won it last year. But he deserves it big time this year. All right, don't tell me Steph Curry does more than he does or Kevin Durant, because they don't. James Harden is the clear-cut MVP front runner right now. All right, all opinions are irrelevant. Just kidding, but I think James Harden is the front runner for MVP right now. As for the Miami Heat, You got Josh Richardson with 30 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 11 of 20, 7 of 9 from the three-point line. Justice Winslow only 5 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound, shot 2 of 7. Hassan Whiteside with 16 points, 17 rebounds, 7 of 16 shooting. And you got Goran Dragic with 30 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 11 of 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. And look at the good old Miami Heat getting Dwayne Wade back, all right? My brother, he's a big-time Heat fan. I texted him about it. He was all excited about it. So pretty much every single Miami Heat fan has to be excited about it, unless there's some Debbie Downers out there who are like, oh, he's too old. Why are we bringing him in there? We're supposed to make playoffs. Yada, yada, yada. But nonetheless, it's a good little story for him. Glad he's going back to Miami, all right? Dwayne Wade's pretty much done everything that everyone would ever want to do in their NBA careers, all right? Won 2 titles. Or was it 3 titles? I think won 3 titles, all right? Played in his hometown for his hometown team. Played with his best friend. Now he's back playing with his original team. All worked out for Dwayne Wade. He's had quite the career. All right, where would you rank Dwayne Wade all time? I'd say he's a top 5 shooting guard all time. Probably top 3. Let's go off the top of my head. You got MJ, then Kobe. Is it then Dwayne Wade? I don't know. How do people feel about Clyde Drexler? I didn't really get to watch him too much, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on him. All right, let's see. Their shooting guards have really never been like a top position. I feel like never had like the top players, you know. Let's see. Reggie Miller, actually, I think is probably one of my favorite shooting guards of all time. Reggie Miller is one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah, I really didn't get to watch him too much, but nonetheless, I mean, the guy is just watching pretty much highlights, and that little 30 for 30 against the Knicks, that one that they put out was pretty fun. I like that one, so that's pretty much why I like Reggie Miller too. Allen Iverson, is that a shooting guard? Will we consider AI a shooting guard? I think you could. I think he is considered a shooting guard. So let's go Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. You know what? Then I'll throw Allen Iverson there, all right? People don't like Allen Iverson, or at least the older generation, I don't think, kind of likes him too much just because he was ahead of his time, all right? Imagine Allen Iverson playing in this league now. Be one of the best of all time. But nonetheless, getting back to the point, the Rockets beat the Heat 109-101. Dwayne Wade's going to be in Miami. Probably going to be playing tomorrow, too, is what probably Riley said. Then you had the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've traveled to Cleveland, and Cleveland pulled off the big win here in overtime, 140-138. All right, no defense was found in this game. You had Taj Gibson with 9 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 8 from the field. Andrew Wiggins, 19 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, shot 7 of 13, 4 of 8 from the three-point line. Karl Anthony Towns with 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 12 from the field, 6 of 6 from the three-point line. Big game from him. Hopefully he just keeps taking those shots. I mean, the dude needs to assert himself on that team. And you had Jeff Teague with 14 points, 15 assists, 6 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Jimmy Butler with a big game here, 35 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 14 of 21 from the field, 4 of 5 from the three-point line, So yeah, like I said, a huge game from him. So you had Jamal Crawford with 16 points off the bench, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. You had Gory Jang, 10 points, 4 rebounds. I'm not even sure if I said his first name right. It's kind of difficult. Then as he finished the game shooting 4-7 off the bench. Then for those Cleveland Cavaliers, most of the names I'm going to name right here are off the team. All right, Jay Crowder off the team had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Heck of a game for his last game as a Cav. Wonder if he's going to get a video tribute. LeBron James, the guy who's still on the team, believe it or not, 37 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, 16 of 22 shooting, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. Dude went off yesterday and also hit the game winner. They ran the Christian Laettner play, except this time it was from the sideline, all right, instead of the baseline. All right, I can't remember who inbounds it, but either way, they inbounded it to LeBron. Clock didn't start right away, but nonetheless, I'm not complaining about it. LeBron literally does the Christian Laettner move, hits the shot, they win, all right? Nice little buzzer beater and pick me up for LeBron James there. Tristan Thompson still on the team. He had 17 points, 5 rebounds, shot 7 of 9, and obviously he didn't take any threes. Isaiah Thomas in his final game as a Cavalier. All right, Isaiah Thomas, storied career with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Fans love him. Everyone loves him, right? He had 13 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 8, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. For those who couldn't tell, I was being sarcastic. All right, not about his stats, about him being beloved. All right, J.R. Smith still with the Cavs. All right, people were surprised, but go look at the dude's contract. You can tell me someone's going to want to take up that contract. He had 20 points, 3 rebounds, shot 7 of 14 from the field, 6 of 11 from the three-point line. That's probably why they didn't get DeAndre Jordan, because they didn't want Tristan Thompson or J.R. Smith's contract. All right, so yeah, that's how he played yesterday. Pretty good game. Channing Frye. In his final game as a Cleveland Cavalier, went out with a bang. 4 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 6 from the three-point line. Jeff Green, still on the Cavs. Jeff Green's a nice player that no one talks about off that bench. He had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 4 of 6 from the field. Derrick Rose, another player who had a storied career with the Cavaliers, all right? Went out with a bang here. 3 points, 3 assists, 7 minutes played, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. And then you had Kyle Korver, still on the team. 14 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Like I said, the Cavs won that one 140-138. And next time you see Cleveland, they'll be having George Hill out there, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and Rodney Hood. Not sure who's going to be starting. I think I'd make George Hill my starting point guard and have Jordan Clarkson come off the bench. But, I mean, either way it'll work, I guess. Maybe you have Jordan Clarkson start since LeBron can handle the ball a whole lot more. Jordan Clarkson's really good off the ball. He's more of a shooting guard to me, I feel. But, yeah, I think I'd start Jordan Clarkson just so LeBron could start running, like pretty much be the primary ball handler on that team in the first team, and then have George Hill run it with the second team. I think that's what they should do. We'll see. Either way, though, you had the Utah Jazz facing off with the Memphis Grizzlies. Utah won this one 92-88. Look out, but Utah is almost at 500. They could be competing for that 8th seed in the West. You had Derek Favors with 2 points, 8 rebounds, 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 from the three-point line. There was talks about him possibly getting traded. He did not. All right. Let's see. Joe Ingles, he had 7 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. These stats are terrible. Rudy Gobert, he had 8 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. I remember when Jazz fans were all mad about Gordon Hayward leaving, saying that Rudy Gobert, they weren't going to be any worse because Rudy Gobert was going to lead them. And, yeah, that hasn't really worked out, has it? Ricky Rubio been on a bit of a hot streak here. He had 29 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 8 of 16 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Looks like Donovan Mitchell might be starting to hit that rookie wall. He had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 4 of 12, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. And then you had Rodney Hood in his final game as a Utah Jazz player, 18 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. It's not the only player who played their last game last night. You had ISO Joe Johnson with 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Could end up with a team like the Rockets, the Warriors, or the Celtics. It's going to be interesting to see. The Warriors get him. That's not fair, but he'll be amazing there. All right, he'll be good with the Rockets, and he'll be good with the Celtics. So it's going to be interesting to see where he picks. As for those Memphis Grizzlies, you had JaMychal Green with 11 points, 7 rebounds, shot 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Dylan Brooks with 11 points, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 13, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Marc Gasol with 20 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 7 of 20, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Andrew Harrison, the guy's been playing well with the Grizzlies this season. He had 23 points, 4 assists, 9 of 15 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line, and went out the best way you could, fouling out on that one. All right, like once again, the Utah Jazz won that one at 92-88. Then for the blowout of the night, I should say, make it clear, the San Antonio Spurs headed into Phoenix, and boy, oh boy, did the Spurs ever win this one, 129-81. LaMarcus Aldridge had 23 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 of 14 from the field. Kyle Anderson, no points, only 2 shots in this one. Dejounte Murray, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 7 of 12 in that game. You had Danny Green with 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Patty Mills with 18 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 9, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. You had Tony Parker with 13 points, 4 rebounds, shot 5 of 9 from the field. It was looking like the Spurs were looking to get Avery Bradley, trying to give up a pick, and Danny Green. It never worked out. But imagine Avery Bradley under Craig Popovich. I mean, it'd be just like him in Boston. It'd be disgusting. But nonetheless, we had the Phoenix Suns. You had Dragan Bender with 12 points, 6 rebounds, shot 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. TJ Warren, only 11 points in this one, 4 of 10 from the field, no threes hit. Josh Jackson, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 of 17 from the field, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. Tyler Ulis only played 9 minutes in this one, 1 shot, no points. All right, and that's how that ended up. So that's how the games yesterday ended up. Like I said, for the next segment, we'll be talking about anything else going on in the world of sports, anything that's going through my mind, and we'll be making my picks for the games going on tonight in the NBA. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
talked about Jimmy Garoppolo getting his monster contract, and then we talked about we recapped the NBA games from what was yesterday? Wednesday? Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. For this segment, we're gonna go over the NCAA basketball scores for yesterday. All right, we're gonna go over the games we're gonna talk about the games that are going on today. I'm gonna make my picks for the NBA games going on tonight, and pretty much talk about anything else going on. And you know what? Something caught my eye. I was scrolling through a website, and I saw Roy Jones Jr., the boxer, for those that don't know. Dude's still out here trying to fight, still trying to box. All right, says he wants to have one more fight and then hang it up. I think he's 49 years old. I wish these guys would just give it up. Like just be done with it one time. Not everyone needs to be like Bernard Hopkins. You don't need to fight till you're 50, all right? Like, forget. Didn't Bernard Hopkins fought Triple G that one time, didn't he? And didn't Bernard Hopkins, like, it went the distance, I think. I'm almost positive. Yeah, I watched that fight. It went, unless I'm thinking of like mixing up two fighters, but I'm almost positive Triple G and let's see. I think that they did. They had to have fought. I think they fought once. All right. Triple G didn't knock him out. It went the distance. I'm almost positive. Unless I said, like, I'm thinking of someone else. But nonetheless, I mean, these boxers gotta eventually just start hanging it up. All right. You don't gotta prove it to anyone. All right. You don't have to prove anything to anyone or anything like that. Just go out and just leave it. Okay. Oh yeah. I don't think they did. I gotta be thinking of someone else. Oh, I might be thinking of someone else, but nonetheless, Bernard Hopkins did fight someone. Or was it Kovalev? Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. I don't know. Either way, let me see. Maybe I'm thinking of Kovalev. Yes, I am thinking of Kovalev, and he fought Kovalev that 1 year. I'm sorry, it was not Triple G. It was Sergey Kovalev. That's different. I mean, Triple G, Kovalev at the time were knocking everyone out, but I was wrong there. All right, I forgot he fought Sergey Kovalev. That's a whole lot different. Triple G would have destroyed him. All right, but nonetheless, going back to Roy Jones Jr. My bad there, my bad. But nonetheless, going back, I mean, I'm not sure what these fighters are trying to prove as far as fighting into your 50s and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not paying to watch a Roy Jones Jr. fight. I'm not even flipping the channel to watch a Roy Jones Jr. fight. Roy Jones Jr. had a nice little career. It's over, done with, be done with it. All right, he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver a couple times. That was cool. All right. I can't be too mean to Roy Jones Jr., but yeah, didn't Jones get knocked out in like the first few seconds of the fight against Tarver? I think that was him. Again, these fights happened when I was like a little kid, so I mean I have to like go back and remember him a bit. Let's see, Antonio Tarver. I think that was one of the fights where Jones got knocked out in like the first round. Let's see. Here's YouTube. Let's see, it's first round. I'm watching it. Oh, it goes to a second round. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he got knocked out in the second round by Tarver. All right. That's where you got pretty much. Let me see. What punch did he hit him with right here? Yeah, with like a minute left. Oh, wow. With a minute and a half left in the second round. Tarver hit him with a hook and knocked him out. I didn't mean to turn this into an anti-Roy Jones Jr. segment either. I didn't mean to do that, but nonetheless, I mean, that's like one of my biggest memories of Roy Jones Jr. right there, having Antonio Tarver knock him out. Antonio Tarver was a bad man, too. I remember. All right, again, I was little at the time. Not too little, I don't even think either. Had to have been like 10 or 8. I don't even remember the year they fought, but nonetheless, I mean, Tarver was a bad dude. But, yeah, like I said, Roy Jones Jr. is looking for one more fight before he retires. If you're looking for a fight, maybe Roy Jones Jr. will fight you, and you could be Roy Jones Jr.'s last fight. But nonetheless, did have a nice career, all right? Now, he had a great career, Roy Jones Jr. I'm not cutting him enough slack, all right? Roy Jones Jr. had a great career. One of the best fighters of all time? I'm not sure. But either way, he was great. All right, let's talk about the NCAA men's basketball scores from last night. We had a couple of upsets, all right? The number one team in the nation got knocked off by who? St. John's. St. John's knocked off number one Villanova 79-75. That was just St. John's first win in the Big East. Brutal, dude. There are no clear-cut good teams in the in college basketball right now. I'll tell you that much, right? Everyone's getting beat by everyone. Number 2, Virginia, they barely beat Florida State 59-55. You had number 3, Purdue, who got upset by number 14, Ohio State 64-63. Number 7, Texas Tech knocked off Iowa State 76-58. Texas A&M beat number 8, Auburn. I knew that was a fraud. Number 8, Auburn is a fraud. I have not watched them one bit this season, but you cannot tell me that Auburn, all right, that school is a top 10 basketball school. You cannot tell me that. I will not believe it, all right? Texas A&M knocked them off 81-80. Then we had UNLV knocked off number 23 Nevada 86-78. Miami ranked number 25 beat Wake Forest 87-81. So I mean, like I said, everyone's beating everyone. No clue who's going to make it into the tournament, all right? Because all these teams just keep losing. All right, as for today, we got number 16 Clemson facing off with Pittsburgh. Then we got number 9 Duke facing off with number 21 North Carolina. Jeez Louise, dude, those tickets are expensive. Nonetheless, is Duke going to win this one, or is it going to be Carolina? Duke, they had a bad loss the other day. Who did they lose to? Let me see if I could pull it up and see who they lost to the other day. Let's see. They lost. It was a bad loss, too, I think. They lost to St. John's. You're telling me St. John's went and they beat Duke, and then the week after, they beat, or the week later, they beat Villanova? Put St. John's in the tournament. Put them in, all right? If they can only beat good teams, like the best teams in the nation, they'll win the tournament. Put St. John's in the tournament. All right, but nonetheless, we got Duke facing off with North Carolina. Then we got number 11 St. Mary's facing off with Loyola Marymount. St. Mary's always has a top team, I swear. Then you got number 12 Gonzaga, a team just like St. Mary's. All right, always good. They're facing off with Pacific. Shout out to Stockton. And then we got number 13 Arizona facing off with UCLA. That's the 7 o'clock game. I'm not sure there's too many people who watch the late night Pac-12 games or anything like that, but Bill Walton always calls them. Dude is like ridiculous with the stuff he says, but it's entertaining. You guys gotta go and listen to what Bill Walton says. It's so weird. I mean, you'd be watching it, and I think Dave Pasch is the guy who does the play-by-play with him, and you can tell Dave Pasch gets kind of frustrated and annoyed because just Bill Walton just mumbles on about whatever it is, just says whatever that comes to his mind. I mean, half the time he's not even talking about basketball, but it's entertaining to me. Me and one of my best friends, we watch the games. We always text each other about Bill Walton, just the crazy stuff that he says. I mean, the dude says something different every time. It's hilarious. But nonetheless, those are the games going on tonight. All right. Then we got the NBA games going on tonight. All right. Going to be some teams who are missing some players because those players got traded. So let's see who's playing tonight. We got the Atlanta Hawks facing off. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Ooh, we got Thunder Lakers tonight. That's going to be a bit of a fun one there. All right. Let's see. We got the Atlanta Hawks facing off with the Orlando Magic. Magic are currently 10-14 at home. Hawks are currently 5-21 on the road. I think the Magic, they traded Elfrid Payton away to the Suns. Let's see. I'm going to go with I don't know. That one's tough. This is like a battle between two terrible teams. Do I want to go with Atlanta's currently favored. I'm going to go with the Hawks since the Magic traded away Payton. Had nothing to do with like how it fits or anything like that. I mean, it's just... You're just missing a player. I don't know, dude. I have no logic as to why I pick either team. It's just pretty much whoever wins in this one. I'm going to go with the Hawks, I guess, but I don't know. I kind of want to go with the Magic. I'm going to go back to that one. All right, then we got the Knicks facing off with the Raptors. Knicks traded for Emmanuel Mudiay. He's probably not going to be playing tonight, obviously, so I got the Toronto Raptors. Either way, even if Mudiay was playing, I'd pick the Raptors, dude. I wasn't. That sounded weird. But yeah, I'm going with the Raptors, even if Mudiay goes out there or whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, then we got the Celtics facing off with the Wizards. This one's in Washington. This one's on TNT at 5 o'clock. I'm going with the Celtics, all right? Looking like they're going to have Greg Monroe for this one. Wizards are currently favored in this one, too. No John Wall, wow, and the Wizards are favored. So I guess I'm going with the upset pick. I got the Celtics winning this one. Then we got the Hornets facing off with the Portland Trailblazers. Hornets did not trade Kemba Walker away. Didn't look like Michael Jordan wanted to trade him away anyways either. So let's see. Portland's favored by 3, so that means I'm going to go with... Should I go with Portland? This one's in Portland. Portland's 15-10 at home. Charlotte's 8-16 on the road. I guess that means I got to go Portland in this one, but I don't really trust Portland ever picking them. It's always kind of, do I want to do that? So yeah, I got the Trailblazers though. Then we got the Dallas Mavericks facing off with the Golden State Warriors. This one's easy. I'm going with the Warriors. Warriors are 19-7 at home. Mavericks are 7-19 on the road. Plus, the Warriors just pretty much have an all-around, just overall better team than the Mavericks easily. So I'm going with the Warriors. Then we got the Oklahoma City Thunder facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. Really wish Lonzo was playing this one. All right, because Lonzo Ball, he can't shoot or anything like that, but Lonzo gets ratings. All right, people are going to tune in to watch Lonzo. I'm one of the people that does. I like watching him play. All right, it's just something about it. It's LeVar Ball's fault. All right, LeVar Ball has us all just tuning into the Lakers. So I'm going to go with the Lakers have been playing well lately, especially at home. I'm going to go with the Thunder, though, all right? I'm going to go with Paul George. I'm going to go with Russell Westbrook. I'm not sure if Melo's playing this one. I know he did hurt his ankle in the... What game was it the other day that they were playing? Oh, Anthony's day-to-day. Yeah, he's day-to-day. I think... I don't know. Either way, Carmelo Anthony or not, I think the Thunder are going to win that one. So I'm going to go with the Thunder for my pick there. All right, let's go recap my picks. I got the... Ooh, I forgot. I had to go back to the Magic and Hawks game. Let's see. Who do I want for this one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, I'm not going to do it that way. Let's see. The Magic are favored. I'm gonna go with the Magic. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Magic, I guess. Jonathan Simmons been playing well. They had a big win against the Cavs the other day, so I'm gonna go with the Magic. All right. So I got the Magic beating the Hawks. I got the Raptors beating the Knicks. Celtics beating the Wizards. Trailblazers beating the Hornets. Warriors beating the Mavericks, and the Thunder beating the Lakers. Only one upset today, and that's the Celtics over the Wizards. Shout out to Vegas for making me look smart there. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Earlier, we talked about the trade deadline, talked about the Cavs, what they did. Do I think that it's going to help them get to the finals? No. Do I think it's going to help them beat the Celtics or Raptors? No. I guess it's just pretty much changing the culture and hoping LeBron pretty much makes everyone around him 10 times better than what they are. So maybe they have a chance. They always have a chance with LeBron James, but we'll have to wait and see how it all ends up. As for Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson came out. I was checking during the podcast. Magic Johnson came out and said that Isaiah Thomas is coming off the bench, but he's been playing a bunch of minutes. All right, Lonzo will be the starter, but he won't be out there as much as Isaiah is, I guess. So that's how that's going to go. Don't think Isaiah's going to get bought out. All right. Like I said, no Tyreek Evans trade today. No DeAndre Jordan trade. Let's see what else we talked about. Jimmy G getting his big deal. 5 years, $137.5 million, $27.5 a year. It's going to be good for Kirk Cousins. The dude's going to get more than that for sure. So I'm sure he's really happy about it. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is extremely happy about it. Let's see. We recapped the games from last night. And then for this past segment, we talked about a little bit about college basketball. Talked about how Roy Jones Jr. got knocked out by Antonio Tarver that one time. Also how he wants to have one more fight before he retires. And then we made my picks for the NBA games tonight. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.